Welcome back to today's NFL pick video play for September 27th, 2018. And this one talking about this matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams. Going to give our lean on where we see the better value on the over-under. The total number sitting at 49.5 points. If you guys are interested in getting all of our NFL picks for this week's action, you can get those over at stumpthespread.com, which is linked down in the video description. So coming to this one, we have the Minnesota Vikings. High expectations coming into the year. They got off to a nice start. They picked up a 24-16 win at home against the 49ers, and then in their Week 2 matchup, a difficult division game on the road against the Packers. It ended up being a tie through overtime by a final of 29-29. And then this past week, a huge disappointment. Minnesota coming in as massive favorites at home against the Buffalo Bills, and yet they went on to lose that one by a final of 6-27. A very disappointing game for the Vikings on the offensive side of the ball. And given the fact that Minnesota only scored 6 points last week, and that came in the fourth quarter, I think that's why this total number isn't even higher than what it currently is standing at, because the Vikings, they should be a respectable offensive team this year. They bring in Kirk Cousins, their big free agent quarterback acquisition. He's supposed to take this Minnesota team to the next level after they had a tremendous 2017 campaign. And Cousins, last week against the Bills, he was relatively effective in terms of completing passes, but just the Vikings didn't do a great job of finishing off drives, and they weren't able to get anything done with their ground game, as Cousins went on to complete 40 of 55 passes for 296 yards, 1 touchdown to 1 interception. But the ground game just picked up 14 yards on 6 total carries. And if the Vikings are going to present more of a threat today against the Rams, they have to at least show that they're somewhat willing to run the ball on occasion and do so effectively. So today, the Vikings, another tough matchup here. Last week was supposed to be their easy matchup. This was supposed to be a big step up. Maybe they looked past it and were looking ahead on the schedule. We don't know that. But the Rams, they have gotten off to a great start. They're 3-0 as well as 3-0 against the spread. And the Rams, they've been doing it with strong offensive performances. They won at Oakland by a final of 33-13. Then they won at the Cardinals 34-0. And then this past week at home, beating the Chargers by a final of 35-23 in what was a higher scoring game, with the total hitting 58 points in that matchup. And this Los Angeles team, they're loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. And in terms of their numbers, they're first in the NFL in points against. They're third in the NFL in scoring, so clearly getting the job done right now. And this past week against the Chargers, Goff went on to throw for 354 yards and 3 touchdowns, while the ground game also picked up 171 yards on 35 carries. So in terms of this over-under number, especially since this one is on their home field, we feel like the Rams have the ability to continue to put up another 30-plus point caliber performance. The question is going to be, can Minnesota get things back on track and going in a positive direction after what was such a disappointing offensive performance from the Vikings last week? And we think that the Vikings can do that. They showed us that they scored 29 points during regulation against the Packers, 24 points in regulation against the 49ers. We feel like that they can do well enough here on the offensive side of the ball to go ahead and push this to the over. So that's the play for today's video, siding with the over 49.5 points as the better value play. If you agree, give the video a thumbs up. Disagree, give it a thumbs down. Check out all of our NFL plays over at stumpthespread.com. Link down in the video description. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we hope to see you guys back here for future videos.